thought that was right about the drinking.
All right. Yeah. Welcome to the show. It is Ringside Report. I'm Dave Simon. Fred Garcia's here. AJ DeLesio is here.
Woo-hoo.
We are on the radio every Friday night. We're live on YouTube every Thursday night at 8 p.m. We're talking mixed martial arts. We're going to preview UFC 245 here. We're going to give you our predictions for the triple main event going down Saturday night. Max Holloway defending the featherweight title against Alex Volkanovski. Amanda Nunes defending the women's bantamweight title against Germaine de Randamie. And the main event will be Kamaru Usman defending the UFC welterweight championship against Colby Covington, the MAGA man, the big Trump supporter, Colby Covington, staying at a Trump hotel on fight week, which seems to excite my co-host. I'm not really sure why. We're also going to talk about what happened this past weekend. Did Dan Miragliotta screw Stefan Struve in Washington, D.C.? Was that the D.C. screw job? It was some shady stuff going on in the cage on Saturday night. Alistair Overeem got his face exploded. Alberto Del Rio got manhandled by Tito Ortiz. A lot of weird stuff happened on Saturday. There was a boxing match I watched as well. I don't know if you guys caught that one. The Anthony Joshua and
Andy Ruiz.
Ruiz fight. I watched that fight. It was all right. We're also going to talk about some Polish MMA.
What?
A Polish MMA promotion
Poland
that's doing some wild stuff, and I'm pretty excited about it. We'll see if you guys
Pudzianowski?
No, I don't think
Is
Pudzianowski.
that the world's strongest man in the world comes from Poland?
Let's just say there's no weight classes.
What?
It's bare knuckle, and headbutts are allowed. Okay, it's some sort of new MMA promotion.
Yeah,
I'll tell you about it. They're going to have their first event in January, so it's kind of exciting stuff. And I'm also going to find out if AJ knows who Nick Cannon is.
The camera company? Sure.
I would
Fred
have made
Fred didn't know who Nick Cannon was.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
It does sound familiar.
That's a fair guess.
Isn't there a Christmas song? The Cannon is in a German Christmas song. What is it?
Nick Cannon? You don't know who Nick Cannon is?
Is it a porn star? What is he?
No, he was. Was
that right?
No, he's a rapper-ish,
So he's
actor.
Porn star.
He was married to Mariah Carey.
What?
He has kids with Mariah Carey.
Well, I'll give him props for that.
He's like a TV host.
What show?
So that's his big accomplishment.
He's a TV host.
Mariah Carey?
Yeah.
Yes,
dating
for sure. By far, that is his claim to fame. That's what makes him famous.
So can
That's
I call him
nothing, man.
Nick Carey?
You can, yeah.
Like Travis Brown, he's Travis Rousey. So
Oh, yeah.
Nick Carey.
Yeah.
I like
right.
that. Nick Carey, man. He got carried all right. Right to the bank. That's where he got carried to.
Kind of like a Mike Kanellis scenario in the WWE, if you followed that one.
What was the thing I said
Don't
last
worry
week?
about it. So, you guys don't know who Nick Cannon is, which I think is great. He had a thing with Eminem. I kind of wanted to talk about it tonight, but I guess we won't because you guys don't know who Nick Cannon is.
Well, who doesn't know Eminem?
I know you know Eminem.
Sure, the best candy in the world.
He had like a little bit of beef.
Okay, go ahead.
We need a sound effect for those moments there.
Oh, AJ.
Go ahead. What did he do, this Cannon guy?
Something doesn't seem right here.
What did Nick Cannon do?
What did this Cannon do?
Don't worry about it. Let's talk about MMA. It's more important
No,
right
I want
now.
to hear this.
I'll tell you later, all right?
Okay.
We'll tease that for later
Okay.
on. I'll tell you about Nick Cannon and Eminem later on in the show.
Tell me they're not going to go down like Logan Paul and like I don't know who else.
Let's talk about Conor McGregor. It's more important.
Finally. Here we
It's
go.
more relevant to what's going on. Dana White was talking this week, and he was talking about Conor McGregor and Khabib Nurmagomedov, and it's what a lot of people were expecting. Dana White said, look, if Conor beats Cowboy Cerrone, and if Khabib beats Tony Ferguson, then it's very likely that we're going to look at doing Khabib versus Conor, the rematch, which was a big fight, which AJ wants to see, and AJ has been telling us that this is the fight to make. But I'm disappointed because it's not really the fight I want to see. It's not the fight that Fred wants to see. It's not the fight that a lot of people want to see because I'd rather see Khabib challenged rather than see Khabib beat a guy that he's already manhandled. What's the point?
I've been saying it for the longest times. You guys have been like cutting me down all the time. Khabib, Conor is never going to happen, and it's going to happen. And it's maybe you guys don't want to see the fight, but the fans want to see the fight.
Misrepresentation again.
What? What do you mean? Did you want to see it, Freddie?
Okay, so now it's about me wanting to see it, and before it was about me saying it was going to happen, which are two different things.
Wait,
two different things.
Do you want to? You didn't want to see it.
AJ, here's the point. Neither of us, Fred and I, don't really want to see it.
But the world wants to see it again.
We expected it to happen again.
Yeah, exactly.
Probably what? You got nothing. You got nothing. So we would rather see Khabib fight George St. Pierre. If he's able to get past Tony Ferguson, I think Khabib should fight George St. Pierre. I don't think the Conor McGregor fight really challenges Khabib. It doesn't do anything for his legacy. It's just a money grab for Khabib. And I'm not even sure Khabib wants that. I know that Dana wants that and Conor wants that because those guys are all about the money. But Khabib has said time and time again, he's not about the money. If he beats Tony, he wants to fight GSP. And if he can beat Tony Ferguson and George St. Pierre, if you can go on a run of beating Conor, Poirier, Ferguson, and then GSP, and then retire undefeated as the world champion, people are going to look at Khabib Nurmagomedov as maybe the greatest fighter of all time if he can go on that run, if he can accomplish those things. So legacy-wise, I think it makes way more sense for Khabib to go after GSP because that's a real challenge. That's a real legacy fight. Beating Conor does nothing for your legacy, Khabib.
No, it does. Sorry, Fred. Sorry to jump in there. Because what it comes down to is there's a story. There's an eagle that flew out of the ring. He attacked like all kinds of people. Conor got like punched in the back of the head.
Which has nothing to do with legacy.
Go to pro wrestling if you want that, brother. If you want the story fight, if you want a fight based on hype and story, go watch professional wrestling.
I don't need to. I got to go watch the UFC. All I got to see is Khabib versus Conor 2. And that's the storyline that's going to happen. And the world's going to watch. And it's going to be a blockbuster pay-per-view seller.
Exactly.
And it's going to be the #1 seller of all time. Where Conor's got 5 out of 6, if I'm not mistaken. So this is going to be the #1. And you know what? Like I said the last time.
You have a mixed message. You have a mixed message because...
Mixed message...
Because on the first point, you're like, I want to see this fight. And then on your second point, it's like, it's going to happen because it's going to make a lot of money, which are two different things. I agree.
No. I want both. I know I want to watch it, and I know it's going to make money. There's no doubt about it. If George comes back, George will always sell pay-per-views. But the real storyline now is that George has to build up a storyline. There's no storyline with Khabib and George. You just got 2 legacy fighters that if they actually create another belt, which was rumored to be a legacy belt, then that could be a fight where there could be at least a reason for these two guys to fight.
Why do you have to build up this story? Why do you have to do that?
Because it's all about the story, man.
Hey, it's a really big fight. Khabib's undefeated. George hasn't lost since Matt Serra beat him.
Yeah, but
George hasn't lost in over 10 years. George versus Khabib, 2 of the greatest fighters of all time, 2 of the greatest wrestlers, MMA wrestlers to ever step into an octagon. Let's see who's the better wrestler. Let's see who's the better
fighter. The legacy belt is
You don't need a stupid made-up championship every time.
But we had the BMF
title. Yeah, I know, and I think it's unnecessary. How about it's a big fight? Enjoy that it's a big fight. It's 2 of the greatest fighters out there.
But you know what?
Isn't that enough?
Dana and George don't have the type of relationship where Dana would be saying these type of things. You know, right now, George and Dana are a little bit at odds. George doesn't fight when Dana wants him to fight, things like that. So I wouldn't expect Dana to say anything like that for George. Whereas Dana wants Conor to fight. He wants to make a lot of money with Conor, so that's why Dana is saying that. Now, the guy that should actually be mad and is mad is Justin Gaethje because just listen to this. If you want to make Conor versus Cerrone a #1 contender, it should have been Conor versus Gaethje because Gaethje just defeated Cerrone. So, like, I have no problems if, like, you want Conor in a #1 contender fight, no problem, but put him against Gaethje at least.
How about this? It's not even at 155 pounds.
Yeah, which is another thing.
I mean, Conor and Cerrone are fighting at 170 pounds, and Dana's talking about if Conor wins, he's going to fight the 155-pound champion. Doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. This fight, it's irrational. I really don't want to see it happen. I don't think it's necessary. I think what should happen after these two fights, when Conor wins, he should fight Floyd Mayweather in a rematch for boxing. Make a ton of money. What? Go do that, Conor. Or you step up and you fight Tony Ferguson and you really see who the bad man is, you know? Or you fight George Masvidal
at 170.
Something like
Big
that.
Big payday.
But, you know, I think if Khabib wins, he should fight George. But again, I'm going to say it again because I'm going to say it every single week until April the 17th or whenever that fight is. Tony Ferguson's going to beat Khabib. So this is a moot point. All of this about Conor, Khabib, and Khabib George, and Khabib this and Khabib that.
Well, actually, if Khabib loses,
all that stops when Ferguson beats Khabib.
Well, maybe not, because if Khabib loses the title, then maybe Conor makes sense as far as
I think
a
Conor
rematch.
goes after the belt harder.
Maybe.
I think Conor sees Ferguson as a more winnable fight. Like, Ferguson will stand and trade with Conor. Khabib will take him down and smother him forever.
True.
Donald Cerrone should be a little insulted that nobody gives him a shot. Everybody's already talking about what's the next fight for Conor. Like, Donald Cerrone doesn't always show up for big fights, and I hope this will be a different one for him, because it has the potential to change his career. A big win against Conor puts him back in a lot of discussion.
And what if he loses? Does it put him in the position to start looking at retirement?
It depends how he
now
loses.
Where his body has been so abused over the years. Like I said last week's show, I said this guy's had more fights in 1 year than most people have had in their career. And that's the thing.
No, man, come
Cowboy
on. Cerrone
is coming to an end. And you know what? I love him. He's an awesome fighter. He brings excitement. Even when he has a bad fight, it's still exciting. The thing is that he's used and abused. And I think this is going to be either he moves forward if he beats Conor, or he's going to retire at this point. Listen, man, that's the way it is.
It's Ringside Report.
Don't get mad at me. I'm
here.
just a messenger, man.
AJ's talking about it again. I don't know, Fred. It's not what I want to see, but I think Tony's gonna win this fight.
Nah, that's where you're wrong, Dave.
I think
Honestly,
Tony's beating Khabib, and whatever.
It's still months away. Things could change from there. You know.
And think about this: Khabib is getting a good rest time. His body's healing. He's gonna be training like crazy. You're gonna get the best Khabib at that Ferguson fight. And I like Tony Ferguson. I think he's awesome. But he hasn't fought much in the last couple of years. Khabib is going to smash him big time.
Okay. Well, we'll see. We'll see, AJ. We can bet another dozen bagels, although I wouldn't really want to make another bet with you because
I forgot the bagels again.
You know, we bet on that, UFC 240... 243 at this point.
Yeah,
like it's
but listen,
a couple pay-per-views ago, and I still don't have my bagels.
No, you know what, Freddie? On the way here, I'm like, I got to get Dave those bagels again. Damn it, it's closed. But wait a sec. I have something else I have to give to Dave that I've been listening nonstop for the last month is Biggie. Dave gave me a Biggie CD that I haven't given back, and I'm telling you, that is one awesome CD.
First of all, right? Ready to Die.
Yeah, man. And In the Loop was so far, that's my number one.
Give me the loot.
Oh, is it Give Me the Loot? I thought it was In the Loop or something. So give me the loot.
Give me the loot. Give me the loot.
In the loop. Or in the loot.
You thought he was saying in the loop. In the loop.
Yeah. Okay, I guess it's not In the Loop.
Wow, you really don't understand that song.
But it was great. I'll tell you.
It's
number 3 on CD. It's awesome.
Okay, so I lent you the Notorious B.I.G.'s Ready to Die, which came out in 1993.
I thought it was a Christmas CD, but it was not, apparently.
Yeah, so you like it.
I love it, man.
Cool. You don't understand it, but you
love
love it.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Okay.
Biggie.
Yeah, so you should give me that CD back, and you should also give me a dozen bagels from that bet that we made.
Freddie, you're here next week, right? When are you on vacation? Okay, so next week I will bring the bagels. Johnny North sent me a text saying, "Hey, AJ, I know a place that's open 24 hours. Go get the bagels there." I didn't have time.
Yeah, don't make a bet with AJ. He doesn't pay up.
But it's been busy the last couple of weeks.
Thankfully, when I beat you at poker, you do give the cash, so that's good.
I don't want to give it, but I know right away I'm going to probably go down.
So, Conor Khabib, I think that's what the UFC wants, but again, there's so many hurdles to get to that point. There's so much there. Conor has to fight Cerrone. I think he's going to beat Cerrone. I don't think Khabib beats Ferguson. And at that point, I think maybe Conor Ferguson makes sense. So we'll
Conor,
see.
Ferguson?
We'll see. These are all fights.
Yeah.
This is all hypothetical. This is all stuff that's going to happen in 2020.
Let's not forget Floyd Mayweather is still also in.
Yeah, I mean,
in the picture for
Floyd is saying he wants to box a boxer and an MMA fighter, and
he's gonna end up in the hospital. That's what's gonna end up. He's gonna be in the loop for sure.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. If Floyd wants to box an MMA fighter again, who's it gonna be? It's got to be Conor McGregor. He's the biggest name out there. He's going to bring the most money, and Floyd is all about the money.
Well, there's two guys, actually.
No.
There's Conor, and there's two other guys. One is Masvidal that says he wants to fight Mayweather, and the other is Diaz. So, you know what? It's possible. And Diaz is a former professional boxer.
Who makes the most money?
Out of those two guys, Diaz.
Out of the three, with Conor included.
Oh, Conor for sure, hands down.
So why would Mayweather pick anyone else?
You know what? It depends where Conor's standing at this point. If he beats Cerrone and his focus is going to be to redeem himself against Khabib, that's his real focus. That's where I think he's going to go towards first. And then he'll go to that money fight with Mayweather. It'll still be there.
I feel you're still, you're shortchanging Jorge on his star power.
He's not McGregor.
He's not,
he's not far.
No,
he's
close,
pretty far.
Freddie, no,
I think he's pretty far.
I mean, we got GSP that's in retirement that has more star power
McGregor's
outside.
lost.
What?
McGregor's lost some. I want to see his next numbers. I mean, come on.
Well, for pound, I think he's at 15. So let me double check here.
What do you
Pound
mean?
for pound.
What does that mean?
Connor's at the 14th ranked.
Conor is still one of the top.
I'm talking about star
he's still
power.
The number one. He's still the number one star in the UFC. There's no bigger star in the UFC.
Listen,
There's no bigger draw in the UFC than Conor McGregor. Still,
Dave, but not only in the UFC, but
might
also
be one or two losses away from losing that title.
That could happen, but
and that's why he's fighting Donald Cerrone, so he can get a win and come back and be the McGregor that everybody wants to see. Because Cerrone is a winnable fight. Doesn't mean it's a guaranteed win. No fight is a guaranteed win.
But listen, Conor is not just the biggest star in the UFC. He's the biggest sports star in the world. I mean, he's up there with Ronaldo. He's up there with Messi. He's up there with in the world. I mean, he's up there. That's when you say McGregor's name, he's up there with those star status. And that's the difference. Conor sells. Even when he loses, he sells. He's the biggest name. But he really needs this win to seal him as a legendary fighter. He needs to win.
Well, he needs the win.
2020 has to be his year.
Because people like Fred and a lot of other people are doubting him at this point. He hasn't won.
No, you got a point.
He hasn't won since 2016, 2015.
Eddie Alvarez?
Yeah. His last win in MMA was Eddie Alvarez, which is a long time ago, right?
He's not in the UFC no more.
Well, no, Diaz fights.
He's not. No.
Oh, yeah.
No. Eddie Alvarez was after that. He beat Diaz. He lost to Diaz. Right. He beat Diaz, and then he beat Eddie Alvarez to win the lightweight title. And then he went away for 2 years, came back, fought Khabib in 2018, and we haven't seen him since October 2018. But his last win was over Eddie Alvarez in 2016. So when you haven't won in over 3 years, people start to question whether you're still an effective fighter. So Conor needs to come back and win to prove that he's still an effective fighter and he's still a guy that's dangerous, that's worth tuning in for. And, if he looks really good against Cerrone, if he defends a Cerrone takedown or two, I'm sure the McGregor fanboys out there will say, oh, give him another shot against Khabib. AJ will be here saying, oh, his wrestling looked a lot better. I think he could do good against Khabib. The people will be out there making the case for Conor Khabib too, and Dana White and the UFC will be right behind it because they know they can make a lot of money with that fight. But I don't think Conor will ever be able to out-grapple Khabib Nurmagomedov, and he's going to have to if he wants to beat him. And I don't really see the point in having that fight again.
Yeah, exactly. I doubt Conor's dedication to being back to the number one spot. I have no doubt.
Apparently, he's way more regimented in this camp than he was for the Khabib camp.
I need to see it to believe it. And also, I need him to win more than one fight. Okay, beat Donald Cerrone, but if you're going to take another year, a year and a half off after that, I mean, I'm going to have to say you're a part-timer. Right now, I doubt that Conor wants to be number one. He wants the big paycheck. I have no doubt about that. He wants big paychecks. But does he want to be fighting Khabib, really?
I don't know. I think he probably does because he's got a lot of pride.
Exactly.
He's got a big ego, and he doesn't want that loss to stay with him. And it has stained his legacy to a certain extent. It's the one loss that he has in the UFC that he wasn't able to immediately avenge. You know Conor wants that rematch. He wants to prove that he can beat Khabib. The only problem is, after seeing the fight, I'm not really convinced he ever can.
Look,
Conor, I think, is convinced he can if he fights the right fight. I'm not sure he can. Khabib's very good.
Look, Khabib is awesome. Khabib is the best fighter in the world at the moment.
Good.
But let's not forget, it's Conor. Conor has this mystique about him. I mean, he's had a rough ride in the ring, out of the ring, a lot of controversy and things like that. I mean, he was the pride of Ireland. You know, the thing is that he needs to redeem himself. He has to get back to what McGregor was in the beginning. You know,
he needs to start punching UFC fighters and not old men. Okay.
Well, you know what? There's more to that story than they say. So right. I wonder.
What about is there more to the stories about him like misbehaving also in certain ways? Like there's a lot of things around. Yeah, but that goes
with John Jones too, right?
No,
John Jones is like notorious for
I don't know, man. Anyways, there's a lot of stories around Conor McGregor that make me doubt that he's gonna be a top level, like a champion ever again.
Have you seen him in like photos lately, like in his training camp? The
AJ,
guy
you
looks jacked.
A bet? You want to make a bet with Fred that Conor won't be a UFC champion again? Because I
never bet with Fred.
I think that's pretty solid. Like I don't know if Conor will ever be a UFC champion again. You
but
know?
In all divisions, like in any division at this point,
any division,
he'll be a champion in some division again.
Look at the champions right now. Khabib,
not a make-believe.
He's not
title.
beating Khabib. He's not beating Kamaru Usman or Colby Covington. Those guys are wrestling machines. Like you want to be a champion right now in the divisions that Conor fights in. You're going to need to be a way better wrestler than McGregor is.
Yeah, but let's look at what happened to Ben Askren, right? So Ben Askren was
maybe if he drops down to 45, he could maybe beat Holloway or something like that. Maybe if he could make it to 45.
Didn't he beat Max already?
But this is a guy who's coming. Yeah, he beat Max
in
way
his first
back.
Fight.
Yeah, but this is a guy who's coming back to fight, and he's fighting at 170 pounds. So I doubt he's ever going to fight at featherweight again. He was the champion there, but I don't think he's ever going to fight at 145 pounds ever again.
Well, he looks jacked. Like I said, in the photos that I've seen lately, Conor looks jacked. So it's going to be hard. I mean, it was hard for, even George to cut weight. I mean, there's so much weight you can cut when you're literally full of muscles. It's hard, man.
It's not easy.
Hard.
It's not easy. We got some other stuff to get to. I want to preview UFC 245. I want to tell you a little bit about what happened to Alistair Overeem and Dan Miragliotta, the Washington, D.C. screw job that happened to Stefan Struve on Saturday night. It was unfortunate, and some other stuff, some Polish MMA. We'll give you the full breakdown of UFC 245, though, when we come back. It is Ringside Report. We're on TSN 690 on your radios. We're online at ringsidereport.net. And on YouTube at youtube.com/ringsidereport.net. Stay with us.
Man, we already went to a commercial break.
We're on commercial break. Subscribe to the channel. Click the bell. Get notifications every time we're on. We're on commercial break.
What's Johnny saying here? Johnny's saying,
hold your head. Phone?
Hold your head.
AJ, could you do me a favor?
What?
While we're on the show, could you not also chat in the window? What are you doing, man? Why are you chatting?
Johnny's talking about the bagels again.
Well, ignore Johnny, man. Talk to Johnny later. We can
show Johnny what I put.
We check the chat during the commercial breaks, AJ.
Yeah, but it's so
you do not chat during the show. You should focus on the show.
Johnny, Dave, get the
Fred, can you back me up here?
Fred.
Yeah.
Dave, get the poster there for Johnny so he can see it.
Good backup, Fred.
Well, I mean, I was on my phone right now reading my messages.
Johnny, this is for you, buddy.
But this is commercial. This is the time for this.
Dave and Johnny North, Wrestling Uncensored. What are you doing? Well, Johnny, that's about the extent of it. So on your show, try to get it on the table.
Hey, AJ, do me a favor.
Look at the camera. I already saw that. Papa John, I was looking at the camera. I just have cross eyes.
You never look at the camera. You're the worst. You're the worst YouTuber.
How can you see? Like, my glasses are like, I'm looking at the camera right now.
Dave, like,
can you not see
I gotta complain. Like, why do we have this thing in front of us now?
What, this tripod R2D3?
Yeah, exactly. Like, I noticed it right when we went on the air, and I was like, oh, wow, this is going to distract me. I can't see myself.
Yeah, come on, man. Look at
Freddie's
Freddie's hair.
This thing here?
Yeah, the tripod.
Weird.
Don't worry about it. What is the problem?
I like looking at myself.
Well, you should look at the camera.
And he has such nice hair. Look at Freddie's hair. He looks awesome. He looks like Brad Pitt in the early days. Look at that.
What does the matter with you?
Look at that. We're actually George Clooney, man, with the beard.
Quintet is tonight.
Oh, by the way, Freddie brought us like some really good. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. If you want the quintet, I was going to
Talk about the donuts. Whatever.
No, yeah, Krispy Kreme.
whatever,
I thought they were
AJ,
out of
it's
business.
whatever.
Honestly, I thought they were out of business, but they're there.
There's one right between like my house and jiu-jitsu. So many times I get out of jiu-jitsu and just say to myself, like, Fred, you deserve it.
So this is a partially eaten Krispy Kreme donut, the original. It's awesome. I've already had 2. If I continue like this, I'm going to go. Well, I used to be 6-pack and went down to 4. Now it's hanging around the 2. It's going to become a 1 soon.
Read the commercial.
Well, read the commercial. Okay, let me take off my glasses because I can't read at the same time.
Oh, old man AJ, here we go.
Here we go.
Can you read
no,
this?
No, but I can't read it like you did.
How bad is this going to be, you think?
It's going to be bad.
Awful, yeah?
Stitcher promo.
I won't
Here we
judge.
go. At the Ringside Report Network, we have been producing our podcast for about 15 years. No joke, 15 years. Dave's the original guy. No,
Maybe
let me do it, Dave.
I
Let me
don't
do
think
it.
you can do it.
Many of you have used Stitcher to either stream or download our wrestling podcast, Wrestling Uncensored, and What's Phantom in Japan, or our MMA show, Ringside Report. Stitcher is offering you, not like Oprah, but offering you, the Ringside Report audience, as part of their sponsorship of our work, a special offer on the premium version of their service. Besides all of our podcasts, you can listen to over 100,000 podcasts on your iPhone, Android tablet, PC, Amazon Echo device, or in your car. When you're getting all jiggy in your car, you can listen to it. On demand, ad-free with Stitcher Premium, like the Joe Rogan, number 1, we're number 2.
Keep going.
The Joe Rogan Experience, Something to Wrestle with Bruce Pritchard.
Keep reading.
WTF with Mark Maron. What does the WTF stand for? MMA fighting and more. You can get also access to Stitcher Originals, bonus episodes, comedy albums, and more. Only $4.99 a month or $34.99 a year. That is nothing.
It's a good
That's
deal.
like a parking ticket in Montreal. One parking ticket is like $60. Go to Stitcher.com/premium to sign up today. Remember to use the special promo code
Ringside
for 1 month free, and let Stitcher know we sent you. So make sure you tell Stitcher that it's coming from Ringside Report.
So that's
How's that promo?
Stitcher.com/premium.
Was it bad, Fred?
Use the promo code Ringside for a free month of Stitcher Premium. A
me put on
lot
the
of
glasses.
stuff, comedy albums, bonus episodes, Stitcher Originals.
Joe Rogan Experience.
$4.99 a month, $34.99 a year. But if you use our promo code, you get a free month. How about
That's
that?
I think it's awesome.
That was a decent read, AJ.
It wasn't bad,
Fred,
man.
what do you think?
What'd you think?
Excellent.
I put my heart into it. You know, like Stitcher is awesome. We need more. If anybody wants to start promoting their stuff on Ringside Report, see if Joe Rogan could say it like us. It won't
So
happen.
we've got another read, AJ. I'll do this one, though, right?
Which one is it?
For IP Vanish.
Oh, IP Vanish.
Yeah.
That's a good one, IP Vanish.
We've been getting more serious about security on the internet for a few years now, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the solution that we've chosen, based on recommendations of the tech gurus at the Ringside Report Network, is IP Vanish.
IP Vanish.
Did you know that all private browsing does is hide your browser activity and you're not actually hidden?
Scary.
Yeah. Only a secure VPN like IP Vanish can truly keep your internet activity secure, especially if you use your phone, computer, on public Wi-Fi hotspots, such as
All
your
the
local
time.
coffee shop or shopping center.
Yeah. I was going to say the name, but I won't say it.
Right. Because encryption adds another step in your connection process, many VPNs will slow you down, but IP Vanish consistently tests as one of the fastest VPNs in the industry, so you'll never have to worry about lag or latency. A great benefit for listeners and viewers of the Ringside Report Network is streaming live sports. When you establish a connection to an IP Vanish server and masks your IP address, it's as though you're using the internet from your server's location. Don't let your location stop you from watching the game. Use the best VPN for streaming to watch sports from anywhere in the world.
Really? Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah. You can use IP Vanish to stream UFC events using UFC Fight Pass or WWE on the WWE Network on multiple devices, right? An IP Vanish subscription includes 10 simultaneous connections on multiple devices, which means you could watch UFC live on one device, continue streaming on another, and still have 8 secure connections to spare. You want to share some of your passwords, maybe? IP Vanish might be the thing for you. You know what I'm saying? It's simple with the IP Vanish app. It's available as user-friendly software for all your devices, Windows, Mac OS, Android, iOS, Fire TV, And with the IP Vanish network, you can travel the globe virtually.
What?
Their VPN coverage spans 1,300 plus servers and 75 plus locations, affording you access to a truly worldwide web. You want that content that's not available in your area to be available in your area?
Damn right.
IP Vanish. And also security. Very important. With so many online threats lurking, you can't afford to leave your data exposed. But you shouldn't be forced to prioritize security over speed.
True.
Thankfully, IP Vanish delivers the best of both worlds. Surf without a trace, protect yourself, and use the solution that we use, IP Vanish. And here's the important part. If you sign up for a subscription that includes a 7-day money-back guarantee using our link, you could try it 7 days, money-back guarantee.
You're guaranteeing that?
The Ringside Report Network will receive a small commission that helps us produce more content. You saw a little bit of that with these sponsorships. We're able to produce more content. You saw a video that I produced earlier this week.
It was awesome, that video.
A WWE video,
great.
right?
I like the intro. The intro was awesome.
So, you're going to see more of that stuff. We've already seen people supporting IP Vanish, already seeing people support the Ringside Report Network. So we're producing more content, and we thank you for that. So this is important here. You got to open a browser window, keep watching or keep listening to us. You go to vpn.ringsidereport.net. It's just like our website, except there's a VPN dot in front of it. So it's vpn.ringsidereport.net. You sign up today. And using that link, it'll let IP Vanish know that you went through us, and we get a small commission, and it helps us do more. So we appreciate
Cha-ching.
it. So you go to vpn.ringsidereport.net right now, you sign up, and you help us make more content, and you get an awesome product here with IP Vanish, a great VPN. I'm using it. Private browsing, all sorts of good stuff. You can access, the Netflix from all the different
Freddie knows about this stuff. He's the tech guy.
Fred knows about VPNs,
Fred knows all about
baby. This. Fred's using it. We're all using it.
Fred, you're using it?
Of course. AJ doesn't know how to use it. We'll teach him. I
thought IP Vanish was some magic show or something.
AJ doesn't know how to order things off Amazon.
Well, I do. There's one coming in December.
AJ, have you ever ordered something from Amazon?
What's coming?
Diapers? What's coming, AJ? What are you talking about? Diapers?
Amazon got a good deal on diapers, by the way. I know because I have a child that uses diapers. And
are they like
Amazon Prime?
Environment-friendly diapers?
No, I don't.
I liked you explaining Amazon Prime to AJ. Like, he was really confused. He was like, wait, it's like shipping, but it's TV too? Like, what? I don't understand. Like,
well, that's where I got a bit
confused. It kind of blew your mind a little bit,
Yeah, because when Fred says you can watch videos on it, I'm like, really? Like, how does this work?
Well, Amazon Prime has an Amazon Prime video section, which is incredible. They got so much stuff on it. Like, right now, I use Amazon Prime Video more than Netflix. I'm just saying.
That is pretty awesome because I listen or I watch Netflix, but like I gotta talk to.
You know what I don't do? I don't do normal cable because normal cable is awful.
They're like 6 channels, paying a fortune. You know who we're talking about networks here in Canada. You should be ashamed of yourself.
Agreed.
Like, you can't even watch anything anymore. I can't even see Dr. Phil.
What?
Yeah.
Is that what you're trying to watch, Dr. Phil? I'm sure you can watch Dr. Phil, AJ.
It's hard, man. It's hard. It's like all on these
He doesn't
HD
have a YouTube channel?
What are you doing watching Dr. Phil?
He's the best doctor in the world.
You need some...
He's not a doctor.
You need advice like on family stuff Dave. Or anything?
Unbelievable.
Big changes in your life that stress you?
Quintet Ultra is tonight. You want to talk about that
Quintet,
here briefly?
Freddie. Let's talk about Quintet.
Okay, I'm going to tell you what...
It's not like the Symphony Orchestra Quintet.
Okay, I'm going to tell you what Quintet is because it's actually a really cool concept. It's on UFC Fight Pass. It's tonight at 10 p.m., so you might want to watch this after the show, right?
Oh.
AJ, could you...
It was the vibration.
What's wrong with your phone?
I can't turn it off. I need IP Vanish on there. It's gone crazy. It's all these guys calling me from like Vanish. Nigeria and like I'm getting called. I swear to God, I'm getting calls from like the Bahamas, Portugal, Nigeria.
Okay.
What do they want?
So Quintet Ultra is tonight. It's a 5-on-5 team grappling tournament.
Yes,
it's
sir.
like a submission grappling event. And then it's like
tag?
Team UFC, not tag. No, it's winner stays on the mat. So like 2 guys start and the winner stays on the mat and has to face the next team member. But it's Team UFC, Team Pride, Team WEC, and Team Strikeforce. So it's UFC versus Pride, and then WEC versus Strikeforce, and then the winners of the semifinals will face each other, either WEC and Strikeforce or UFC and Pride. The winners of those two will face each other.
Well, do you know who the fighters are?
Yes.
I have them right here.
So Team UFC is
here,
I have them here too. So Team UFC is Anthony Smith, current UFC light heavyweight, Anthony Rumble Johnson, who's gigantic right now.
Johnson is on there now?
Oh,
okay.
That's what I have. What do you have?
I had Team UFC. I had Anthony Smith, Sean O'Malley, and Gilbert Burns. Gilbert Burns is a world champion in jiu-jitsu.
Those are only 3 guys, AJ.
So Anthony Johnson is on there?
It's 5 on 5, AJ.
Oh, okay. They only had 3 when I had
so
it.
I'll give you the actual teams because I actually have the information
well,
here,
that's
AJ.
pretty good team
Anthony
so far.
Smith,
Okay.
Anthony Rumble Johnson,
He's back.
Sean O'Malley, Gilbert Burns, Durinho, right? And Clay the Carpenter Guida.
Wow, that'll be good.
That's Team UFC.
That's a good
And they
one.
will take on Team Pride, led by the legendary Kazushi Sakuraba,
Legend.
Takanori Gomi,
Oh, my God.
Gregor Gracie,
Amazing.
Hector Lombard,
Wow.
and Eve Edwards.
Okay, that's going to be
Okay?
That's a good
So
one.
it's UFC versus Pride. Who do you have winning there? I'm going to go with Team UFC.
I'm going to go with Team UFC as well.
Who's going to tap Anthony Rumble Johnson? He's gigantic.
But how about Gilbert Burns as well?
Yeah, he's very good.
You know?
But Sakuraba's there, man. Sakuraba's no joke. Like, that's the thing. It's either a draw. If it's a draw, I think they're both gone.
Okay.
Like, it's a double elimination.
It's a 5-minute match, I believe, right?
Right.
I'm saying
and
right
if they
away-
draw, people they're just boom, they're gone.
I'm putting Lombard against Anthony Johnson to
yeah.
I don't know how you match it up, but
I don't know what they're gonna do. How it's gonna
Do you
match
think
up.
Lombard will be able to submit Johnson? I don't
no,
know.
but he could go to a draw with Anthony.
He
Johnson.
could. You got 5 minutes
Like,
to score the
Lombard's
most
a solid
submissions.
guy still.
Yeah, but I think Anthony Johnson is going to just basically maul Lombard. That's it. And take his back, and that's it. Choke him out.
So who do you have winning? Team UFC or Team Pride?
Team UFC all
Me
the way.
too,
here.
yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
Sakuraba is a lot older. He had
Yeah.
a fight last week against Gomi, and he beat him 2-1 in the 5-minute submission matches. I mean, this
Feels
is
like
Sakuraba.
Team
He's
Pride-
you're talking the Gracie killer here.
So
I mean,
Team Pride's a little old
Team
and a
Pride's
little
old.
like.
Well, Pride. I mean, when was the last Pride? 2003. I mean,
no, I think it was earlier than that. I think
Yeah, 2001 maybe.
Yeah,
Come on.
but still,
It's Team Pride. Pride hasn't been around for so long. Like Team UFC, they have current UFC fighters. Team Pride, it's like there's not many guys left. It's
look,
all
if
old
those guys were in their prime, if
they were in their prime, it'd be different. But
if
it's not.
Sakuraba was in his prime, and Gomi was in his prime,
None of them
that
are.
would,
Lombard
it'd be-
even.
Yeah,
Eve Edwards.
yeah.
He's not in his prime
No,
anymore. He's retired.
but you never know. It's jiu-jitsu, right? Like he fought pretty well last week.
Team
Sakuraba.
WEC.
That is
That's
interesting.
a good team, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Chad Mendez,
Good.
Glover Teixeira,
Top jiu-jitsu.
Mark Munoz.
Wow, Mark Munoz.
Munoz is a savage
Yeah.
wrestler. He's a beast.
Yeah, we know
I
Mark.
have no memory of Glover or Mark Munoz being in the WEC.
Early days. Yeah, I remember
Probably,
that.
but I mean, it's.
I think Glover had one fight in WEC. Cub Swanson and James Krause round up Team WEC.
Pretty
taking
good.
on Team Strikeforce, led by some pretty good guys. Jake Shields,
That's awesome.
Gilbert Melendez,
Mm-hmm.
King Mo
That's the
Muhammad
team
Lawal.
that's winning everything.
Yeah.
Yep,
Okay.
that's my team.
What? Are you kidding me?
JZ Cavalcante and Renato Babalu Sobral. I got Team Strikeforce
Sobral
all
in
the
there?
way.
Wow.
Team Strikeforce is winning this whole thing. You got Shields, you got King Mo, you got JZ Cavalcante, Gilbert Melendez, Babalu. Forget about it. It's
Babalu
over.
is- yeah,
I got
that's-
Team Strikeforce beating Team WEC. I got Team Strikeforce beating Team UFC. Team Strikeforce is winning quintet. I got Team Strikeforce all the way on this.
I agree because
Jake
look,
Shields, you're not messing with him.
you got
AJJ, American Jiu-Jitsu.
you got at least two very, very, very good grapplers in Shields and Sobral. Where I'm looking quickly here, and they might be the two best out of the whole 20 guys that are there.
You're not tapping King Mo. King Mo's really solid.
Yeah, also exactly, and Melendez is a solid fighter.
Yeah.
Also, he's versatile. I'm sure he's gonna be good on the
But
ground.
you got only 5 minutes, right? So that's the thing. It's going to be quick paced. It's not going to be.
There might be a lot of draws.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of draws.
You intrigue me. I'm gonna watch it.
It looks
What time
cool,
is it
right?
at? What time is this
10.
at? Tonight, 10 o'clock?
Tonight at 10.
We got to watch it so you can see this where?
It's
On
in
Fight Pass?
It's in an hour on Fight Pass.
So why don't we watch it here?
All right.
Nah, I'm
Dave
going
wants to
home.
get rid of us. Dave, don't be like that. Don't be that guy.
No, I said all right.
Okay.
You want to stay and watch it? Stay and
I
watch
want to
it.
watch this.
All right, let's watch it.
I don't know if I mean,
Yeah, you have responsibilities. I think you have to go home.
You have anybody to take care of?
Yeah,
or-
don't you have people to take care of, brother?
My cat will do okay. But the thing
Somebody
is that
needs to be fed?
No, AJ's not doing that.
but I want to see this,
What was
man.
that sound? All right, let's get back to the show.
It's like the noise from Scooby-Doo, right?
That was good, though, right? Quintet tonight. It's happening.
I'm telling you, you didn't want to listen to me last week.
Silence.
What's that?
Siri, remind me at 10 p.m. to watch Quintet. Because I might forget.
Yeah,
He's totally going to
You know what
forget.
Siri's going to do? Siri's going to go get you some symphony orchestra, like, done. Yeah, you're going to get, like, a symphony orchestra in Austria.
I was going to
not
watch
the quintet in
I
Japan.
was going to watch NXT at 10 tonight, but now I think I'm probably going to watch this Quintet.
Man, this is going to be awesome.
Maybe I'll watch both.
And it's on Fight Pass. Now, that is a reason to get Fight Pass.
Yeah.
Smooth stream.
We need, you know what? We need Fight Pass to start, like, putting sponsorship on the Ringside
Take it
Report
easy.
Network.
Let's
Why
get back
not?
to I want to get back to the show.
Free Fight Pass.
Come on, if we don't finish the show, we'll never be
hurry
able to
up.
watch Quintet.
Let's go. What are we talking about next?
UFC 245,
Oh, yeah,
man.
best card ever.
Yeah, it's good. Well, it's not the best card ever.
Well, 3 major
All right, we'll
champions.
talk about it. And welcome back. It's Ringside Report. I'm Dave Simon. Fred Garcia's here. AJ DeLesio is here. We're on TSN 690 every Friday night talking mixed martial arts. If you want to see more, if you want to hear more, if you want more of Ringside Report, watch the full show. Listen to the full show. Go to www.ringsidereport.net. There's much more content. You could see what we do
Craziness.
during a commercial break. We had a lengthy commercial break. We talked about the Quintet 5-on-5 Team UFC, Team Pride, Team WEC, Team Strikeforce grappling tournament going on UFC Fight Pass. Some very exciting stuff going on in the world of pro grappling. I guess that's what it's called, right?
Well, it
pro
is.
grappling.
Top grapplers, man.
Yeah, so we talked about that on the commercial break, which is exclusive to the website, the YouTube version, and the podcast version of this show, which is available at www.ringsidereport.net. It's blowing up.
It has a Survivor Series feeling to it.
Yeah, it feels like it's like Survivor Series, but real. It's cool. AJ doesn't know what to say. He's eating a donut. He
Krispy
can't.
Kreme, man.
He's
It's
just
awesome.
Krispy
No, but you
Kreme
see
to the
the-
max.
Thanks to Freddie.
Like, you see, this is the first I hear of it, but unfortunately, I don't follow that much these stuff. But this is the type of event that the UFC should really, like, promote, I feel like. This
I
is,
saw Dana White tweeted about it.
Yeah,
Okay.
I did see some stuff from the
Yeah,
UFC.
they're trying. They're trying, you know. This is a cool grappling event that, like...
yeah, exactly. This is the
it's
type
fun.
of event where people should be like, oh, okay, maybe I'll subscribe to Fight Pass.
That's it. There are big names on it. And if you want to hear us break it all down, you can watch the whole thing at www.ringsidereport.net. If you're not watching it already, right now, currently.
Well, it's the formula that they have that makes it interesting. Team UFC,
Yeah.
Team Pride, Team WEC.
Okay, you want to talk about cool formulas?
Yeah.
Let's talk about this weird Polish MMA promotion. It's called Wotore or Wotor. I don't know how to Votor. I don't know. It's Polish, right? WOTORE. Okay, that's the name of the promotion. It's bare knuckle. Headbutts are allowed. No weight classes. It's fought in 30 by 30 foot arenas. The
30 by
first
30
one is
foot.
going to be fought in some sort of like cave, and if you are thrown from the arena, like thrown off the surface into rocks or whatever, you lose.
Kind of like sumo.
It's like sumo, but there's also knockouts and stuff. Like you could lose by knockout or being thrown from the arena. I don't see anything
So-
in the rules so far about submission, so I don't really understand what the deal is. But it's this weird fighting promotion that they're doing. It's going to be like movie-style fighting, you know, not really a crowd, just kind of shot in these weird locations. And they're going to do their first event January 18th, 2020, which, if you're doing your first event as an MMA promotion, probably not the best idea to do it opposite the Conor McGregor return fight. You
Yeah,
know, not really
not
a
smart.
great idea for Wotore MMA. But, hey,
It's probably
I
going to
might
be
try
in
and
the
watch it.
It's
Yeah.
probably going to be in the afternoon.
If
though.
it's on in the afternoon, I'll try and catch it.
But look, it's not. Look, I have no interest in it, but it's not the first crazy concept out there. We've seen like people in medieval gear fight. You know, they got these Russian crazy fights.
But
where
the 5-on-5
also, you know, so like it's.
But
just,
let's not dismiss these things so easily because it wasn't so long ago we were fully breaking down an Artem Lobov, Paulie Malignaggi bare-knuckle boxing match.
But
Well, that was a good
different.
fight.
That was great.
Yeah, these are name fighters, and you know
Well,
what?
who knows who's going to show up in this Polish MMA promotion?
Look, first of all,
if
like
things go badly for Joanna, maybe
mean,
she'll
look,
be there in a year or two.
You see, Artem
getting thrown out of a ring.
Artem
Yeah.
Lobov, a lot of people call him the GOAT, and he's actually the only MMA fighter to beat a boxer right now. So
That's true.
Yeah,
true.
exactly, so.
And he beat Paulie, man. That McGregor
Makes him
kind
a
of
legend.
knocked down too.
Well, Randy Couture,
True, he did.
but in
with,
MMA.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
and it's true. I was
James
gonna,
Toney way
oh,
back
Man,
in
he
the day.
did-
That was
But
so
that was
good.
in MMA. You got to give it up to James Toney. He's
I
got
miss James Toney.
He's got more cojones than Floyd Mayweather. Tony actually stepped into MMA and tried it out.
Yeah, but
Got
he
smashed, but still.
he got smashed. I think in less than 2
Those
minutes.
promos were incredible.
Oh yeah.
Look, Dave. First of all, back to this Polish thing. I think it's interesting. I love
It's
Polish
not.
MMA. Like they have
weird.
such great fighters in Poland. Like their MMA scene
Like
is growing.
Pudzianowski?
Yeah, I thought you
Yeah,
were going to
but-
talk about Pudzianowski, and I'm like, because I read it, he signed to fight for some promotion. Like he's going to be fighting soon. I'll always remember the first fight I saw of him. About 30 seconds into the fight, you saw his whole body was like turning purple because he was lacking
Because
air.
if you don't know who Pudzianowski is, he's this
Oxygen.
big, jacked up Polish strongman who fights MMA for some reason. He's way too muscle bound to be fighting MMA. It's
He
like
gasses out
nuts.
quickly. But the thing is that besides him, there's a whole circuit of like Polish MMA which is growing. They have amazing fighters, and this really is kind of like the early days of Brazilian Vale Tudo fighting, where headbutts were allowed and they were pulling hair and the whole 9 yards. We saw some of the greatest fighters come out of that scene, which eventually went to Pride and eventually got to the UFC. Some of them, legendary guys. But this is
You're
just
giving
like
them too
I mean,
much
look
props.
at this
Look at
guy.
that guy.
This
No, I
is the
am.
guy, Mariusz Pudzianowski.
kind of looks like me and Freddie there.
If
What
you're
are you talking
watching
about?
the show, you can see like pictures of him. He is just stupid jacked, way too.
He doesn't
jacked.
eat Krispy Kreme, I'm sure.
Way too jacked. Look at that punch
Or
he's
maybe he
throwing.
does.
Just awful.
Well, he lost. How many fights did he did? Like 2 fights, I think.
Yeah, he's not good at
No,
MMA.
he's done a couple of fights.
Yeah,
and
he's like I think he's
they,
won one.
They always give him some matchups.
Yeah, but they do weird stuff in Poland for MMA, and Pudzianowski and this Watore MMA is kind of part of that tradition. Let's get to some real mixed martial arts. Before we preview UFC 245, I want to talk about what happened last weekend in Washington, D.C. Jairzinho Rozenstruick breaking Alistair Overeem's face open there. It was a pretty impressive fight from Jairzinho. Very nice knockout. Managed to, stay poised in there with a tough fighter like Overeem. There wasn't a ton of action in the fight. It wasn't the most exciting fight, but I was impressed by Jairzinho to be able to stand in there with a guy like Overeem who's been there forever. Last 5 rounds look relatively with it and not completely exhausted by the
None
end of the
whatsoever.
fight. And he got the knockout with only 4 seconds left of a 25-minute fight. So this guy basically fought 25 minutes with
He looked
Alistair Overeem and walked out with a knockout. That's a really solid UFC performance, and that makes you legit. Like, it wasn't the most exciting fight to watch, but the
Well-
result was solid. He fought well. He stayed composed. Overeem didn't give him any openings, and when he saw his opening, man, did he ever deliver. He showed that he still got that power late in the fight. Towards the end, he was still able to land that huge shot on Overeem. Overeem's whole mouth and everything was just busted wide open. It
Lip
was
the ear, man.
It was
This
disgusting.
sport is often about moments, and this guy had his moment when he knocked out Overeem with, what was it, 4 seconds left?
yeah, it
4
was about 4
seconds, yeah.
seconds.
Yeah, exactly. And he busted his lip like rarely we've seen it. I remember Robbie against Rory McDonald.
Yep.
Robbie had a pretty nasty lip,
Yep,
but
yep.
this one might have been worse. This was very ugly to see. And look, that's Jairzinho's moment, and good for him. So he called out, I think, Ngannou after that. So I'm down. Give me one of those big heavy hitter fights.
Jairzinho's 10-0. He's a heavy hitter. He's knocking people out. Arlovsky, now Overeem. And Ngannou would make sense. It would be a fun fight.
Look, he's gone up rank. He climbed 9 points. So the thing with Jairzinho is that as a heavyweight, what I was impressed is that he did go those 5 rounds. He didn't look tired at all. In the 5th round, he looked like he just started the fight. He's fighting Overeem. I mean, you're not fighting any chump. This was a big win for him, and this is going to be a serious threat to the heavyweight division.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, Jairzinho is legit. And I was definitely impressed. This was his coming out party. This is all of a sudden, hey, Jairzinho is a guy we need to pay attention to. He's for real. Ben Rothwell, another heavyweight, got a big win, knocking out Stefan Struve. But that's not really the story of the fight, right?
No, not
the story of the fight were the kicks to the groin, right?
Yeah.
So Rothwell kicks Struve in the groin in the first round. Struve goes down. I thought the fight was over. Like, Struve was hurt. When you get kicked in the groin and you fall to the ground and you're writhing around in pain, it's not like he got hit and he's kind of like huffing and puffing, kind of hands on his knees. Like, he fell over in terrible agony.
Rolling.
I thought the fight was done.
Yep.
Struve somehow manages to come back. And it was so funny. The crowd was so into it, you know. Every time Struve is down, right, Struve gets back up to his feet, and the crowd's like, yeah! And then Struve kind of puts his hands on his knees and takes a big breath, and they're like, boo! And then Struve kind of puts his hands up on the cage to, you know, get his bearings, and the crowd, it looks like he's coming back, and the crowd's like, yeah! And then Struve sits back down, he's like, oh, boy. Crowd's like, boo! It was crazy, the back and forth, you know, of the crowd. Never seen that before, ever. I've never seen a stoppage for groin shots, which you get 5 minutes. That's the rules in MMA. You get kicked in the groin, you get punched in the groin, you get 5 minutes to recover. If at the end of the 5 minutes you can't recover, then the fight is over and the referee gets to make a decision on how that fight should end, which is important. That's an important fact here, because in the second round, Struve got kicked in the balls again.
Flat nuts.
But I get it. Struve is a giant. He's 6'11", okay? When Ben Rothwell is kicking his training partners in the body...
So you're blaming the victim.
Yeah. Yeah, it's Struve's fault for being too tall. No, I'm just saying I don't think Ben Rothwell meant to kick him twice in the groin. I think it's an honest mistake because it's hard to find a guy who's 6'11" to be training with. So if you're kicking your training partner in the body, when you're throwing that same kick on Stefan Struve because he's so tall, that kick's in the groin, right? So he's trying to kick him to the body. Doesn't work. Kicks him in the groin twice. So Dan Miragliotta decides to take a point away from Ben Rothwell. Okay? Struve goes down again hard, just like the first time. He's in agony, right? Struve is like, I feel like my testicles are in my stomach, right? He feels terrible. So Dan Miragliotta, who's a good referee, who is the referee in this fight, he goes over to Stefan Struve at a certain point while Struve is trying to recover from the second kick to the groin, and he tries to cover his microphone that he has on his lapel. He did not cover his microphone, though, and we heard what he told Stefan Struve. What he told Stefan Struve was, okay, so I'm taking a point away. If you can't continue, this fight's going to be a no contest. So he tells him flat out, this is not a disqualification. Like, you're not going to get to win here. It's going to be a no contest. So it's like a draw, basically, right? This fight basically doesn't happen. But you're probably winning this fight on the scorecards. I think you're winning this fight, okay? He says to Struve, as his testicles are trying to descend from his stomach, he's telling Struve, he's like, look, I think you won the first round. You're winning the second round. You just got to survive the rest of this round, go through the third, and you're good. And Struve's like, huh? Right? And Struve's like, man. Okay, well, how much time do I have left? And Miragliotta's like, you got 90 seconds. And he's like, he's got 90 seconds left to recover. And he's like, no. How much time do I have left in the round, man? You just told me I have to survive the second round. How much time's left in this second round? My balls hurt, right? So Miragliotta goes, I don't know. Let me check. And he comes back. He's like, you got like a minute, 20 seconds left in the round. You got a minute, 20 seconds left in your recovery period. So Struve's like, okay, I guess I'm ready. And Miragliotta's like, yeah? And he's like, yeah, okay, let's fight, I guess. So Miragliotta goes back to Ben Rothwell. Struve at that point then goes back, puts his hands on his knees, just like huffs and puffs like, oh, boy. Oh, my testicles hurt so much. right? So you could tell he's still in pain. Like, he's not ready to go,
it was
right?
bad. It was bad.
But he knows he's only got 5 minutes, and if he doesn't come back, well, it's a no contest. The fight's over. So he's got to put himself together because the ref just told him, hey, I'm going to win this fight. And you got to understand, when you're a UFC fighter, a win means your money is doubled.
Yep.
Okay? So Struve's looking at it like, okay, all I have to do is last another 6 minutes, and I double my purse. You get a no contest, you get your show money. You lose, you get your show money. You win, you get your show money and your win money, which is double, always, right? Well, most always. It probably was for Struve. It is for most UFC fighters, right? So he knows 6 more minutes, that's all I got. So Rothwell comes back and just hammers him. Because Rothwell knows. Rothwell's like, well, I'm down this round because I just got a point taken away. I probably lost the first round. I heard Murgliata tell Struve I lost the first round, so I probably did. So I'm down here. There's no way I'm winning this on points. I must knock this big Dutchman out. So Rothwell charges like a ferocious rhinoceros and just knocks Struve out immediately. Like, as soon as the fight comes back, Rothwell's like, bam, and like knocks him out, and it's over. Murgliata steps in. He's like, stop that. Stop hitting this man. He's all hurt. And like, Struve sits down, and he's like, come on, man. This is...
It was more like, come on.
Like, oh, no. What happened?
Oh, Lord.
Oh, Ben Rothwell hits hard. So, it's, Dan Murgliata didn't do Stefan Struve any favors there. You're not supposed to say that. The commentary team was like, oh, what did Murgliata say? And Daniel Cormier is like, yeah, he's not supposed to say that, but he did. And they're all laughing. It was crazy. Like, that was one of the most wild things I've ever seen happen in a fight. I've never seen a referee do that or say stuff like that. But Struve, to his credit, is such a classy guy. He's such a gentleman. You got to give it to Struve because you could be attacking Dan Murgliata, and a lot of people did, and I was pretty upset with Dan Murgliata for doing what he did. But if Struve's not mad, it's hard to be mad. So Struve tweeted this. He said, everybody leave my man, Big Dan Murgliata, alone. Referees in MMA have a really hard job. In my opinion, he was only trying to give me info to help me. Dan is also a genuinely good guy. Plus, he gave you and me one of the best comeback wins in the history of UFC by not stopping this fight. And then he posted a caption of a fight where he was getting beat up, but then he came back and won, and Murgliata was the ref. So Struve likes Murgliata, and he defended him here. So if Struve's not mad, I'm not mad. It was just a crazy scene. And, like, Murgliata knows he's not supposed to do that. We all know he's not supposed to do that. But he did it. He's like, come on, man. You're winning this fight. You just got to finish it up. And then Struve's like, okay, I guess I'll finish the fight. Boom, boom, boom. And then Struve's knocked out.
You see, I just love that you say like the commentators were laughing about it. And I love that's how MMA people react to these stuff.
What are you going to do?
Other sports would have gotten so mad like, oh, my God, this is a disgraceful. And it happens.
People know Dan Murgliata's been in the sport for years. People respect Dan Murgliata as a great referee. He screwed up a little bit.
I don't know if he's a great referee.
No, he is. Come on, friend.
He's all right.
I think he's a great guy. I've met him before, and he's super fun, approachable. You talk to him, and he's very nice.
He's a martial artist, too. He knows his stuff.
But you know what? It's tough.
I think he's a martial artist, right?
Most of them are.
Yeah.
I just think sometimes he's a little slow in his decisions, I would say.
Look, it can happen with Herb Dean. How many times has Herb Dean done things that were, like, controversial?
There's no refs that are perfect. I would probably put Big Dan, a little bit lower than the Herb Deans and Big Johns.
Really?
Yeah.
I like Dan because he lets things go.
And sometimes you got to.
I think Herb jumps in too early sometimes.
Too early.
And
I loved when
Dan lets things go.
I love when Dan got into Josh Koscheck's face when he, in Paul Daly's face when he sucker punched Josh Koscheck in Montreal.
Dan will ragdoll you if you're not lucky because Big Dan Murgliata is a big dude. And when he's reffing those guys that are 155 pounds or, he could just toss them around.
Sure.
He's a big guy.
Look, if
Struve's not mad, I'm not mad.
Look, it was an unfortunate incident. I mean, both of these fighters are well-liked by the fans. I mean, they're well-liked fighters. It was hard to decide one over the other. For myself as a fan and, like, obviously, like, covering the sports of the UFC, it's hard to choose one of these two guys. But honestly, two nut shots can kind of do it for you. I got to give Struve some credit to getting back up twice, which was a 10-minute delay in total. And you know what? Ben didn't do it on purpose. It just happened. It was a win, but it's a bad win, and it's not a bad loss for Struve. You know what? They'll fight again. People will forget about it, but he'll be a highlight for a little while.
You think Struve wants it again?
Yeah, he does. He said he wanted to come back. I mean, he still has, a couple of years left in his fight game.
I think Struve will fight again. I don't know if he'll fight Ben Rothwell again. I don't know if people are like, we need to see that fight again, but it might happen again down the road. Why not?
I think we should get to 245. Enough of that DC. No, well, I mean,
it was a good card.
What about
this
Alberto
one-
Del Rio, Fred?
well, I mean, this
Del
weekend
Rio?
is the big card. This weekend has a lot of action. Like last week was a kind of not a great
Yeah.
weekend.
Did
But
you
yeah,
watch-
like
Del Rio got smashed by Tito Ortiz
yeah,
in like 3 minutes.
if I was gonna do a shoot, if I was gonna do a fake fight, that's exactly probably how it would go. But it was a great fight. Bravo, Tito. I'm not surprised. I mean, come on, Tito.
Yeah.
Like,
Ortiz.
actually, I got a little beef with you. Like, why? Like, Donald Trump congratulated Tito, and you seem to not have issue with Donald Trump, but have issue with him like congratulating Tito as if
Yeah.
Tito's not worthy of that. Tito's a Hall
Yeah.
of Famer.
I said
Tito.
no world leader should ever tweet, congratulations, Tito Ortiz.
But why not?
So disrespectful.
Yeah.
Tito Ortiz is such a goofy guy. He's so
What are you
ridiculous.
talking about?
He's
Tito
a legend in the
Ortiz, man.
sport.
Watch his interviews.
He's a legend. You're right.
Watch his
man.
interviews.
My favorite one was when he laughed at Ken Shamrock.
Whatever. Tito's ridiculous.
Tito's great.
Tito got worked by Alberto Del Rio, by the way. Tito's like, I'm so happy I have this WWE belt. Oh, I'm going to give it to my kids. This is a great belt. Meanwhile, it's like a $200 replica belt. That's not the real belt that the WWE gave him that's worth like serious money. It's worth like a few grand, you know? Like the belts they give the wrestlers when they win the belts are nice. Like
So he took it?
No,
like
no, no.
it was part of the win?
Well, that's what they put on the line. You know,
Oh, I didn't know
Tito
that.
was going to give Del Rio one of his UFC belts, a real UFC belt, and Del Rio was going to give Tito his WWE belt. But the belt that he gave Tito was so obviously like a cheap replica, and Tito was like, "Oh, I'm so happy to have this." It's like, dude, he didn't give you the belt. Like, you know, the wrestlers, like they put them in cases, they put them on their wall. Like these are nice trophies that they have because they're, you know, leather and there's like some jewels and stuff. But the ones that they sell at the arena that the guys, the guys in the wrestling crowd, they buy them for $200. That's not the belt that Del Rio was given, you know? Like,
Yeah.
Tito wanted the belt that Del Rio was given, but Del Rio just gave him, like, a cheap belt that he probably was given, you know.
But they had a little bit of there was some friction because I saw the weigh-ins and then their press conference or whatever. There was a lot of pushing and shoving.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, it
they
wasn't
had
a
to-
fake fight at all.
They
show.
had to build the fight, you know, it's all show.
You think so?
Yeah, I think that this card here coming up on Saturday night is lacking a little bit of that hype, that pizzazz of the show. Colby Covington is trying to bring it with Kamaru Usman, and they do have their beef, but I feel like Covington's beef is more with Usman's manager than...
Well, there was some heavy words exchanged at media day, so I'll be honest. They're not friends. That's for sure. There's no doubt about it. I mean, what was said was pretty harsh. You name it. Everything from calling out GSP to the suit that he was wearing. I mean, there was all kinds of stuff. So there's bad blood between these two.
Colby talks a lot of trash, and Usman and Colby don't like each other. It should be a good fight. This is a tough one to call here. You know, this is two guys in their prime. They've been crushing everybody. Colby is looking very solid right now. He's won how many in a row now? 6 in a row? 7 in a row? 8 in a row.
They're both 15 and
7
1,
in a
you
row.
know. So
He's won 7 in a row, including wins over Damian Maia, Rafael Dos Anjos, Robbie Lawler. Like, he is smashing people, and Colby seems like unstoppable. When he puts his hands on you, he takes you down, he wrestles you, and there's nothing you can do. But that's kind of what Kamaru Usman just did to Tyron Woodley, and kind of what Usman's been doing to everybody else, and some of the guys that, you know, even Colby did it to, like Dos Anjos and Damian Maia. Like, Usman and Covington have a very similar style of just grinding at you and just smashing you to pieces.
they're both decorated collegiate wrestlers. I mean, these guys are very similar, 15 and 1, both of them coming through like the same ranks. They fought close to the same type of fighters. I mean, it's so close. And like a lot of people don't give credit to Colby because of that shtick that he plays and whatnot, but this guy is serious. His last fight, he came out and he really, he dominated. People forget this is Colby Covington, and to be honest, look at this fight and looking it through. I I'm not sure. I think my edge is going towards Colby on this.
Yeah, that's a tough one. I feel like Usman has better hands. Fred, what do you think?
I feel Usman is the better athlete, so I'm going to go with Usman as far as being the winner. But I'll tell you what, I would love to see Colby win. He gets people rattled up, and I think that is good in the fight game, okay? A lot of the things he says is completely ridiculous, borderline racist, etc. I don't think he really steps over any lines. It's the fight game. He knows how to sell it. So I'm always down for a persona like Colby, but I think Usman is just a better athlete, and I feel he's going to put Colby on his back, and Colby's going to spend more time on his back in this fight that he probably ever has in his MMA career.
Yeah,
I don't think that's going to happen. I think that this fight is going to be mostly standing up. These two guys are such strong wrestlers. Like, I don't think they're going to test each other much wrestling-wise, because I think it's kind of a stalemate at that point. Like, I don't think Usman's going to have a lot of success shooting on Colby and taking him down, and I don't think Colby's going to have a lot of success doing that to Usman. I think these guys are going to stand up, and I think Usman's just going to edge him out. I think Usman wins a decision.
Yeah, but if you look at Colby fighting Lawler in the past, I mean, you got to look at the striking of Colby. It's improved, and he keeps improving this guy. So if it goes to a stand-up game, if you could fight somebody like Lawler the way he did, it could be a different story. I mean, I think it's going to be a wrestling match. This is what their two strengths are. But if it does stand up, I think Colby has that advantage. And I agree with Fred. Usman is he's a top athlete. But is that enough, to carry you through the fight? I think this is going to go the full 5 rounds.
I think at high level like that, athleticism counts. And Usman, to me, is freakish athletically.
Yeah, he's very strong, very quick, a lot of power. I think Usman wins this fight by decision. So I'm going to go with Usman by decision, Fred.
Usman by decision, and I'm just going to say I feel like you say there's a lack of star power, and you're probably right, but it's up to people like us to give it the due to this fight. This is a great fight. Can't wait for it to happen.
No, it's not up to me to hype this up.
It's a great fight, man.
They should do it themselves. Conor did it himself. It's not up to me. It's not up to us.
Sure it is.
No.
It's a great fight.
I disagree.
It's a great fight. And mine...
It's a better fight than Conor versus Khabib.
Of course.
Oh.
Of course it is. It's a better fight.
See how I switched these two guys?
It's a better fight than Conor versus Cerrone, but it won't sell nearly as well. It won't sell half the pay-per-views that Conor and Cerrone will.
And again, you're mixing two different things. I'm saying as far as a competition.
Fight. Yeah, for sure. I agree. 100%.
Great fight.
100%.
So you guys went with Colby? With Usman.
We
I'm
got
going with Colby.
Usman, and you got Colby.
By decision.
Colby is the underdog, plus 160. Usman, slight favorite here, minus 185. The champion, Le Champion, Max Holloway, minus 175, the favorite. Alexander Volkanovski, the Australian-Russian, plus 155, the underdog. I don't know if he's actually Russian, but Alexander Volkanovski. And then you hear him talking, he's got this Australian accent. You're like, what?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, he'll throw you off.
But he's on a roll, man. Volkanovski has been winning and winning and winning. He's undefeated in the UFC. He's
Jeremy Kennedy.
He's
Darren
20-1. He just beat Jose Aldo by decision. This guy is super legit. This is going to be a very, very tough fight for Max.
Holloway's a different fighter. I was looking quickly at the fighters that Volkanovski defeated. I see a lot of wrestlers. Maybe Jose Aldo would be considered a striker, but other than that, a lot of wrestlers. Max Holloway brings a different type of game here.
Yeah, for sure. There are very few guys like Max Holloway. It's a very, very tough fight here for Volkanovski. Holloway's a champion for a reason.
He's in his prime. I mean, it's going to be a tough fight.
He's only 28, too.
It's and
incredible. Also the height difference, I think, is going to be a real problem here for Volkanovski.
But
Volkanovski is 5'6". Holloway's 5'11". That is a big, big striking difference.
But generally, Holloway has a longer reach, but except in this fight, Volkanovski has the longer reach.
How is that possible?
I don't know, but he has a longer reach. So this is the edge that he has.
I'm going to question that. I'm going to hashtag AJ Fact on that one.
I need to see it. Tomorrow I'll pay attention to that.
You'll see. But the thing is that this is Holloway that he's fighting. It's going to be, it's going to be a very, very close fight. But it's going to be Holloway that wins this. So, in my opinion, I think Holloway is going to take this and probably in decision.
This is Holloway's return to featherweight because his last fight he fought Dustin Poirier or
No, he fought Frankie Edgar in
Oh,
July.
yeah, it's true. Okay.
He beat Frankie in a decision.
Yep. Good fight.
And he looked good. He looked good in that
awesome.
fight.
I'm a fan of Holloway. I got him winning tomorrow. Look, Holloway, as far as I'm concerned, even though he doesn't have that many title defense, he's been so impressive in both his wins with Jose Aldo. Like, he's amongst the great featherweights out there that we've had in this sport.
I think Max Holloway probably wins this fight. I think he wins it by decision or maybe a late TKO. I don't know. Volkanovski's going to be tough to stop. The only thing I worry about with Max Holloway, you guys watch The Embedded this week?
No.
Holloway's speech didn't seem as crisp as it should be.
Well, I can
It
I can
seemed a
beg to
little
differ because
slurred.
no, because I was listening to Media Day, and he sounded
sharp?
He sounded sharp, man.
Okay, because
So-
he's had problems in the past. You know, he had that interview with
Sure.
Bisping, a couple years ago,
Yeah.
and his
I
speech
think
was
that-
all slurred. And
I
he
think
had
that's
concussion
just
problems.
how he talks.
Is it?
Yeah, I think
I don't
Freddie's
know,
right.
man. I don't think he doesn't always talk like that. There were maybe he was tired. You know, it's
Sure.
possible he was tired, whatever, jet lag, he's coming from Hawaii.
Look, I'm pretty
I don't
tired
know.
tonight, so I wouldn't want everybody, to judge me on my performance tonight.
It's just because he had that.
What's up with
Next
Freddie?
week I might come with a lot more energy. I had a hard day. Maybe Max had a hard day.
Right.
I'm not gonna judge him.
And I'm saying that's
Don't
possible.
judge Freddie, man.
I'm just saying that he did have that interview where he was slurring his speech and he seemed really out of it a couple years ago, and it was because he was having issues with concussions. And so anytime you hear Holloway and he doesn't sound particularly sharp, he sounds a little tired, you wonder, is he okay? Because there was talk back then, this could be career-ending for Holloway.
Yeah.
It could be really serious.
Well, he was out for a while, right?
And he's had some tough fights. Like these fights that he puts himself through, you can't put yourself through forever, right? So I wonder how he's doing. I think he's going to win. I think he's got all the tools to beat Volkanovski. He should win. I'm just wondering if he's 100%. I think he is.
I
hope he is.
In Media Day,
I really
he
hope
sounded
is.
perfect.
Good.
He was on the ball. And
All
you know
right,
what?
so we got Holloway here. How about Amanda Nunes against Germaine de Randamie?
That's going to be awesome.
Amanda Nunes, the greatest women's fighter ever. She's beat them all. Holly Holm, Miesha Tate, Ronda Rousey, Chris Cyborg. There's not a single woman on the planet that can beat Amanda Nunes. Germaine de Randamie isn't any different.
Well, look, she's a great fighter. I found out something about her. She's also a police officer. I don't know if you guys knew that, but, a lot of respect to her. Awesome kickboxer. She's got the tools. They fought before. She didn't do too well against Amanda. And, it's a different game now. She's evolved. She's got a great training camp. It's going to be a tougher fight, but in the end, you're fighting Amanda. Amanda is a beast, and she's going to take that, she's going to defend that belt. And that's it. It's Amanda's night again.
Amanda is coming off 2 straight first-round knockout victories over Cyborg, who she finished in 51 seconds, and then Holly Holm in her last fight.
That's incredible.
I got Amanda Nunes by TKO, round 1 over Germaine de
Round
Randamie.
one?
Yeah,
Wow.
She's going to smash right through Germaine de Randamie. Amanda's too powerful, too good, too athletic, too strong. She's the best. She's the
Iron
best
Lady.
women's fighter in the world. She's one of the best fighters in the world, bar none. She's incredible. She is the best. Amanda Nunes. She's really, for me, the draw on Saturday night. Just to watch Amanda fight. She's the greatest women's fighter of all time. There's very, very few instances in this sport where you get to watch the greatest ever in their prime compete. Amanda's the greatest ever. The greatest female fighter this game has ever seen.
But she's fighting Germaine de Randamie. Who cares?
You're witnessing greatness.
True. Exactly.
It's
I mean,
history.
It's a great look. I want to watch Amanda up to that point, but the draw of the night. No, come on. Colby versus Usman is the draw of the night. That's the competition.
That's for you. To me, Amanda Nunes is the biggest star in the card.
That's a gimme fight. She's gonna, like you
No, I
said,
wouldn't
she's
say
gonna.
gimme.
She's
She's
a,
a- no.
well,
she's
of
gonna-
the 3 main events, it is the fight with the heaviest favorite, right?
Yeah,
Nunes is
exactly.
the favorite, minus 310 to Randamie plus 255. So it's a lot further apart. Holloway's minus 175, the favorite. Usman 185. Amanda minus 310.
Yeah, but let's not forget, the last time they fought was 2013. We're 6 years later. There's a lot of improvement in the
Amanda's
game.
she's just better now.
Germaine, her
She's
grappling
better.
game has got so much better. She came into the fight game just as a kickboxer. 6 years later, she's a pure MMA artist now. That's a different thing. So let's not forget, the last time there were 3 champions on the same card, all 3 champions
But how long
lost
has
her
it
belt.
been?
So
Really?
yes. So listen, anything could happen. So if like history repeats itself, we're gonna have 3 new champions.
How long has it been
But-
for Amanda since she defeated Ronda Rousey? Because I'll tell you what, in the last 6 years, I think Amanda Nunes might be the female that most improved. Because before, before those Ronda Rousey and Miesha Tate fights, like we didn't really know. Like we knew who Amanda Nunes was, but she wasn't considered as far as dominant like that.
Well, she lost to Kat Zingano in 2014, so
that's
we thought
what I'm
she
saying.
was good, but maybe not
In
number
the
one.
last 6 years, like you say, Germaine that has gotten better. Amanda Nunes might be the female that like evolved the most in the last 6 years.
She's untouchable right now. You're going against her?
No, not at all. I'm going with no. I'm going with
talking about
Amanda.
title
I don't think it'll be
changes?
the first round, but I think within the first 3 rounds, Amanda wins by TKO.
All right, so we all got Amanda winning. How about this fight here? Jose Aldo dropping down to 135 pounds for the first time in his career. The former 145-pound king is going to drop down now to fight Marlon Moraes. Aldo has looked like a skeleton. He's not
he
Be
don't
looking...
careful
look- he don't
though,
look good.
because
He don't look
there's
good.
some pictures out there that are doctored. So
Really?
there's one that people thought was real that ended up not being real, where he looked completely like
Yeah.
he looked like a model where all his side was in.
Why are they doctoring
Okay,
pictures of
that's
Aldo?
not a real one. I don't know. There's some people that just that's the internet for you. But
Okay.
yeah, he's still like look, it's his first cut to 135, and he's been known to like struggle with some of his weight cuts in the past. It's not gonna be easy. I hope he has success. Jose Aldo at some point was amongst my like 2-3 favorite fighters. As far as I'm concerned, he's like a legend, future Hall of Famer, etc. I'm not convinced he's gonna win. I hope he's gonna win, but I'm gonna pick Moraes to win.
The only guys to beat Jose Aldo in the past 5 years are Conor McGregor, Max Holloway, and Alexander Volkanovski. Everybody else is losing to Aldo. He's only 33. People are starting to doubt him. He's the underdog coming into this fight against Marlon Moraes. Aldo plus 175, Moraes minus 210, the favorite. I don't know, though. I have a hard time getting off the Jose Aldo train. He was so dominant for so long. Moraes is a very good fighter. He just fought Cejudo and lost for the bantamweight championship, right? So he's a top-level guy.
Look at those
so it's
wins.
It's not an
Assun
easy...
Sao,
Yeah.
Aljamain Sterling,
Yeah.
Dotson. Those are some solid wins.
Marlon Moraes is very good, but I think Jose Aldo is just a better fighter. And I got Jose Aldo winning this fight. I'm not ready to give up on Jose Aldo just because he's dropping to 135 and he looks real skinny and people are unsure. I think he's going to win. I'm surprised he's the underdog here. This is Jose Aldo, people. He's one of the greatest fighters of all time.
Yeah, but a 135 cut down, it's like a huge issue. I mean, a lot of people told him not to do it. He took that decision to do it. But it's not the same Jose Aldo at 135. I think it's going to be a completely different game. I think Moraes is just basically going to slaughter Aldo in this fight.
Aldo plus 175, Moraes minus 210. Fred, you got?
Moraes.
Oh, all right. I'm the only guy sticking with the man, Jose Jr. Aldo. Surprised Anthony Jr. D'Alessio didn't go with Jose Jr. Aldo, but that's okay, AJ. That's okay. What do you think about Uriah Faber, the California man, the California raisin? Plus 400. Big underdog coming up against Peter Yan, who's one of the top contenders at 135 pounds. If Yan wins this fight, he probably gets a title shot here against
He's 13-1,
Cejudo.
right?
13-1. No one's stopping him. This is a big fight for him, a big name in Uriah Faber. I think Yan's going to win this fight. I don't think Faber has much of a chance here. I think Yan maybe finishes Faber, too. I like Peter Yan by, TKO in the second.
Yeah, I got Yan also. Faber had a nice win in his return, but this is another level. This is and look, if Faber pulls off the upset and beats Peter Yan, that's the type of win that brings him a title shot. But I gotta go with the younger Peter Yan.
Yeah, if Faber wins, title shot, because he's Faber and he's a big star, and Cejudo wanted to fight him, so I'm sure that fight could be arranged. But if Peter Yan wins, I think also title shot. I think the winner of this fight gets the next 135-pound title shot against Henry Cejudo. And if Faber loses and Aldo loses, let's see them fight each other. See them fight each other again. Huh? Why not?
Look, Peter Yan's only been fighting professionally for the last 5 years. He's like one of the hottest prospects coming out. Faber didn't do too well last week with Yang Sadong, which I think was a draw, if I'm not mistaken. And I think things are not going to look too good for Faber in this fight.
Well,
this
Faber's
is Peter
last
Yan.
fight.
Peter Yan is
No.
hot.
Faber won his last fight.
No, I'm talking about Yang Sadong. He was his corner man and coach.
Okay.
So things didn't go well last week, and things won't go well this week. Look, it's Peter Yan, and he's not 13-1 for no reason. It's going to be a tough fight, but I'm going with Yan on this.
Faber is 40 years old. Yan is 26. That makes a difference.
26 years old.
Big
I mean, and
difference.
13-1. You know, he's a hot prospect. This is going to be like a TKO.
Some
early
other
rounds.
I got
Early
second
rounds.
round.
Second round, Yan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Other fights on this card on the prelims, you got Jeff Neal taking on Platinum Mike Perry. Mike Perry's always fun to watch. Omari Akhmedov against Ian Heinisch. The opening fight of the prelim card is one you're going to want to take a look at. The Killer Bee, Ben Saunders, taking on the immortal Matt Brown. Matt Brown returning to the sport, 38 years of age. He hasn't fought since 2017 when he knocked out Diego Sanchez. Matt Brown is back. Matt Brown, Ben Saunders. Who you guys got in that one? What do you think?
It's a nice fight between two veterans.
Yeah. Ooh, Brown is a heavy favorite.
Yeah.
Minus 345. Saunders plus 285. Yeah, that makes sense, but I
feel
don't know,
it's
man.
a little bit of a big.
Yeah, it seems a little too much.
Yeah, exactly. But I'll go with Brown. He has like this violent style. Sanders also, though.
Yeah.
Look, it's a fun fight.
They both have good elbows. That's a fun fight. I'm going to go with...
but Saunders has a great grappling game as well.
Yeah, so does Brown, though. Brown's really good. I'm going to go with Matt Brown. Good fight. Glad to see Matt Brown back.
Welcome back.
Jessica Evil Eye on the prelims as well. Some good fights here. UFC 245 coming up on Saturday night. We are way over time. We are done. Show is over. We got to wrap things up.
Quintet in 30 minutes.
Let's do it.
Quintet coming up, of course, on UFC Fight Pass. We're going to watch that. Check us out online, www.ringsidereport.net. If you haven't checked us out already, go to our YouTube channel, like the video, leave a comment, subscribe to the channel. When you do, click the bell. For more info on our YouTube channel, you go to www.ringsidereport.net. If you're not watching us on YouTube right now, you could go to our website. You could download all the shows, Wrestling Uncensored, Dave and Johnny Live. Dave and Johnny Live every Friday afternoon at about 12:30. Does the NWO deserve to go into the WWE Hall of Fame? Why is X-Pac going in and not the Big Show? We'll talk about that on Dave and Johnny Live. You can check that out on ringsidereport.net.
You got me hungry there, Dave. Talking about tacos.
I didn't talk about tacos.
I thought you said taco. Oh, Paco.
X-Pac.
Oh, X-Pac. Sorry.
Yep. All right. Follow AJ at Danny Brook on Twitter and Instagram. You can follow Fred at Freddy MMA, and you can follow me at Dave Simon MMA. For Big Daddy AJ, Big Daddy Freddy, I'm Big Daddy Dave, and this has been Ringside Report.